Thank you for joining us. I'm Doug Curran.
And I'm Leslie Draffin. Tonight, we begin with military matters. Wounded warriors are walking 1,000 miles across the country to raise awareness of the physical and mental health issues veterans are facing. It's the first time for this kind of event in the U.S. Prince Harry launched the Walk of America back in April. Channel 6 military reporter Jillian Angeline joins us now with more on the U.S.-UK connection. Hi, Jillian.
Well, Doug, Leslie, the U.S. and UK are partners on the battlefield, but organizers say this walk is important because they say the soldiers should heal together too after the fight.
In 2006, I was wounded in combat. I lost my eye and part of my shoulder, and they fixed me up and made it so I looked presentable when I left. However, it wasn't until 4.5 years later that I was diagnosed with my brain injury.
Master Sergeant Adele Lohr wears her military buddies whom she lost on her sleeve, a reminder of battle scars. Scars that veteran Corporal Frankie Perez with the U.S. Army National Guard knows something about.
Back in the days, 2008, I tried to commit suicide. I spent over 30 hours intubated, and I know how hard it is sometimes not to have where to go or who to trust, your invisible wounds.
And that's why this 1,000-mile walk starting at Dockweiler Beach in Los Angeles and ending in New York City is so important, a way to raise awareness to help veterans get back on their feet in civilian life.
If you've served and you've got a problem, you need to go and get help. You need to admit to yourself you've got a problem.
Help that veteran Private Johnny Burns got with Walking with the Wounded. He served with the Royal Anglian Infantry Regiment in the British Army.
I found myself going through some mental health problems, gambling addictions, drug addictions, ended up being homeless.
A beneficiary of the organization, he's putting one foot in front of the other to heal.
It's amazing, especially to be here in Texas.
Anybody else need water, guys?
So we hopped in the car and we're following the walkers towards their next destination, Fort Hood.
I feel like I'm one of the luckiest females around because I'm going to walk with 5 great guys all the way to New York, but right now I'm walking with 6 great guys. So I'm truly blessed.
Now in 2015, there was a Walk of Britain where veterans walked about 1,000 miles across the UK. And coming up at 6, you'll hear why this state is the veterans' favorite for the walk. Doug, Leslie?
All right, Jillian, thank you very much. Very